Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into the U.S. news from Tuesday, May 6th, 2025.
That's right, using a USA Today report as our guide.
We're looking at how economics, trade, politics, it's all kind of tangled up.
Yeah, and the goal is to sort of make sense of it, see what the key updates are, and, what they might mean for you.
Okay, so the report covers quite a bit.
It does. Economic numbers, those ongoing trade talks, political stuff, even protests and market trends. Try to pull out the important threads.
Got it. Let's jump in. The economy first.
Yeah.
That trade deficit number sounds huge.
It really is. A record $140.5 billion jump in March. Massive.
Wow. And why so high, suddenly?
Well, the thinking is, it looks like businesses and consumers, too, were basically rushing imports.
Rushing, why?
To get ahead of President Trump's new tariffs, the ones that kicked in during April.
Okay, so like a last-minute buying spree before prices went up.
Exactly. Sort of stockpiling. It creates this temporary bulge in the numbers.
Right. A distortion, maybe, could
Totally.
affect things later on.
Could do, yeah. And meanwhile, the stock market wasn't happy.
No, it dropped again. Second day in a row, the report said. Is that connected to the trade stuff?
It's likely part of the mix. Investors are definitely edgy.
What are they watching?
Two big things, really. Those U.S.-China trade negotiations, huge uncertainty there,
Yeah, could go either way.
Right. And also what the Federal Reserve might do next. Interest rates, policy decisions. It all adds to the nervousness in the markets.
Okay, speaking of China, they aren't just sitting back, are they? With the trade war.
No, not at all. The report mentions they're actively trying to soften the blow.
How so?
Things like tax breaks, pushing more money into infrastructure projects. It's a clear counter-strategy to the U.S. tariffs, trying to keep their own economy humming.
But there was some positive news on the trade front. Talks starting again.
A bit of potential relief. The U.S. and China agreed to resume talks this week.
And Bessent is leading the U.S. side.
That's right. The main goal is, well, to try and ease the tension, see if they can find some common ground. It's a delicate process.
Definitely. Okay, let's shift to politics. President Trump wanting to officially call the Persian Gulf the Arabian Gulf. What's behind that?
It seems small, maybe, but names matter in diplomacy.
How so?
Calling it the Arabian Gulf aligns the U.S. more closely with, well, the preference of Arab nations in that region. It's a signal.
Interesting. A diplomatic signal. And things sounded maybe a bit tense with Canada. The meeting with Prime Minister Carney.
Yeah, Carney's comment was pretty blunt. Canada will never be for sale.
Strong words.
Very. It underlines the strain these trade disputes are putting on, even long-standing alliances like the one with Canada.
Right. And the report also covered protests, May Day protests.
Yes, May 1st saw demonstrations in several cities. Los Angeles, Chicago, New York were mentioned.
What were people protesting about?
It was a mix of things, really. Concerns about labor rights, immigration policies,
Okay.
and also the recent federal layoffs under the Trump administration. So domestic worries coming to the surface.
And all this happening while markets are still shaky.
Correct. Global stocks on Wall Street continued to slide.
Why the continued drop?
It seems more companies are actually reporting negative impacts now, directly blaming the trade war.
So it's hitting bottom lines.
That's the fear. It's raising concerns about company profits, overall economic growth, making investors quite cautious.
Gotcha. One last number from the report, mortgage rates.
Yeah, the average for a 30-year fixed mortgage was sitting at 6.709%.
Just kind of holding steady amidst the turbulence.
Seems that way for now. It's definitely a key thing to watch, see how it reacts if these other pressures continue.
Okay, so pulling it all together. We see these trade policies causing economic waves, that big deficit, nervous markets.
And those waves spread out, affecting international relations, like with China and Canada.
And also stirring things up domestically with political moves and street protests.
Exactly. It really shows how interconnected everything is. The global affects the local and vice versa.
So the final thought for you, the listeners, maybe to consider how all these pieces, trade, politics, markets, social issues, how they might fit together and shape the economy and maybe your own finances in the coming months.
Right. It's about seeing the links between the big headlines and, your own world. Definitely something to keep an eye on.